Hey everybody, today we are previewing Orr Road again. Let's jump into the stats for today's ride. 55 minutes. Average speed was actually, if you take away our 2 neutral laps, it was actually 28 miles an hour average. And then my normalized was 293, so pretty hard ride for myself and my FTP. Let's jump into the action, guys. We are 4 minutes in. We just got done doing our 2 neutral laps. You can tell we have a pretty large field of around 45 to 50 riders. We currently have 2 guys up the road. You can barely see them way up there. They attacked right at the start-finish line. Now we have Chris Ames in the orange socks, 2 riders ahead of me. He's going ahead and triggering the chase and getting this thing fast. Race conditions today was another super windy race. Right now we have a left to right crosswind, and then we take the right-hander out of turn 4 onto the front stretch. We have a massive tailwind. It's going to get super fast on this straightaway the entire race, and we're going to roll this thing. So guys are already rotating, keeping it fast. We don't want to let the guys up the road get too far ahead. Even though it's early, you know, if we kind of hang out and, you know, relax for a little bit, they can get a really big gap, and sometimes like they can just ride away. They can kind of get out there and we forget about them. So we don't want to do that. We want to definitely reel them in pretty quick. I do my thing right here. Go ahead and rotate through. Check the rear cam. It is already strung out. We're going super fast. My legs were feeling okay. I hadn't had a rest day in a couple days. Did some big rides over the weekend. Going into the ride today, I felt okay. But clearly, like later in this ride, some fatigue sets in and it becomes pretty hard. So you can see the breakaway riders right up the road, and we quickly reel them in. All right, jumping ahead 20 minutes in. We've had a couple little attacks, nothing super threatening. We currently have 1 guy all the way up the road, Jonas, U23 rider. And now we have this niche rider in the blue on the right. Niche rider's gonna go, and I have to make sure we have representation in that. I kind of file in real quick, catch a little bit of a draft from this rider. He checks over his shoulder, and then immediately steers right into me. Thank you for that. Please give me more of that, love that. Keep pedaling, make my way up to the niche rider, and now we are along for the ride. Got a gap in the rear camera. This is looking good. I was feeling okay with this effort right here. I do know this niche rider can be surgy at times, and his pulls are extremely hard. So I just need to make sure, for my fitness and skill level, that I'm making sure that I'm, 1, taking a better corner than what I just did, and 2, keeping my pulls and effort smooth, so whenever it's my turn to rotate out, I can jump back on the wheel. But coming down this front stretch, like, I know we need to be at 30 miles an hour. So it is, for me, man, I'm having to do over my threshold in FTP all the way down the front stretch to try and bridge up to Jonas just up the road right here. Take this corner fast, keep pedaling through it, flick an elbow through, let the rider know I'm done, and we don't have, there's a couple guys in the rear cam chasing us, but as soon as the niche rider comes around, he just surges super hard, and that's kind of his MO. That's just his style, not a big deal, but I wasn't willing to like throw another 700 watts out to try and jump on his wheel. So I kind of just pulled the plug a little bit. We have a couple guys roll through right here, and at this point, I check over my shoulder and I see the group. The peloton has a huge head of steam behind us, and I kind of just pulled the plug. So, pushing ahead, we're 28 minutes in. I have a teammate, Bryce, is up the road, and now we are seeing right now, we're seeing some guys trying to chase and leapfrog up to a small breakaway. So I'm kind of calling out it up a little bit to get the group to kind of react and hopefully speed things up. And my goal right here is kind of just to, you know, disrupt a little bit, but unfortunately I'm a little too far back. I'm a little bit too many wheels back to disrupt and keep this thing from going. But right now you can see like there's guys everywhere in the course. You have guys on the left, on the right that are falling back from that breakaway group, and there's just such a big discrepancy in speed, and we're hauling butt down this front stretch at 33 miles an hour. So pushing ahead now, 30 minutes in. Bryce is still up the road, and I'm doing my best as a teammate to kind of disrupt the chase right here. So I've got Chris Ames in front of me. He's keeping it super fast. We got some lap riders on the left right here, or some guys that are coming off the break. And I don't want to slow it down really, but I also don't like want to speed it up to chase my teammate. So I'm just going to keep it smooth, keep this effort. And then you can see in the rear cam, Chris Ames in the green, he is mad. He sees that no one's pulling through, coming around me to keep it fast, and he's showing some frustration. I can't blame him. So now I kind of flick my elbow, get off the front, and let these guys chase Bryce down if they want to. All right, just a few minutes later, this ride has been super fast. Man, I'm yelling up again, and I've got to split this gap right here between these two riders. It's starting to get shredded behind me. There's a gap opening up behind me. And look in front of me, though. There's just one, two, just so many gaps. I'm yelling at the Belmont rider in front of me in the red helmet to like go. I was like, we've got to keep pedaling. We got to close this gap down. This could be the race for us. If a group gets organized, it's so fast that they can just shred the entire field, and that's what's happening right now. You can definitely tell it was fast, and the group was having to pay for it. The guys up front were doing a really good job at countering and just going over the top of each other. But props to Will right here, Belmont Abbey rider, 2 wheels ahead of me, for kind of stitching this thing up for us just a little bit and making it not as hard. But it's going to be a common occurrence right here. The field getting torn apart, the second part of this ride. But luckily, this front group, this little cluster right here, kind of just gets a little disorganized, and we end up catching them and kind of resetting. All right, we're 30 minutes in. We have a niche rider on the far right that's going for an attack. I've got to help out Bryce and be up in this move. He's been doing a lot of work the last couple minutes, so I need to make sure I'm being a good teammate and throwing in an effort right here. We get a little bit of a gap in the rear cam. Got about 5 or 6 of us that are putting some power down. Coming into turn 4 right here, we keep it fast. Check the rear cam one more time. We have a pretty substantial gap. All right, now look in the front cam. There's 2 niche riders and the Belmont Abbey guy kind of like set up, and I'm like get caught sleeping for a second and realize like, oh no, they're not going to chase this. Well, I want to be a part of this break, and so I have to kind of sprint again to catch back up on the wheel. And if you look in the rear cam, it's kind of hard to tell, but now they're chasing us again. So a little bit weird strategy right there. I'm assuming they didn't realize how much of a gap we had originally, and so now they're chasing us back down again. We immediately settle in, start rotating, doing a smooth rotation right here. We want to get away. We want to see if we can shadow the field a little bit. Check the rear cam. We have a couple riders that are leapfrogging up to us. Bryce, my teammate, and then Jonas as well. So we have a really good group. This is a pretty formidable group right here that's up the road. I'm having to do an effort on, in my opinion, the hardest part of the course. We have a huge headwind coming up this uphill kicker right here. I'm having to do anywhere from like 420 to over 450 watts on my effort. Extremely hard for me. I try not to pull for too long. I immediately flick an elbow and come through, and I see that I've got a teammate with me, and this was the moment I knew I was going to have a bad day. Is coming through this turn 4 right here, I let the wheel drop just a little bit, and I could not close this small gap down. I could not close this down. I'm like cussing at myself right now, and that's it. There goes the brake. Luckily, we have a teammate in it, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. At least we got a guy up the road. All right, pushing ahead. Now the chase is starting to form in the main group. We've got like four or five guys up the road. Now the chase is starting to happen, and all I'm trying to do is follow wheels and survive these next couple laps, because we're getting down towards the end of this thing. But these guys are tired. You can see, again, gaps are opening up left and right, and you have to keep your head up and watch all this stuff, because if you're not paying attention, you're going to get caught on the back end of a split, and you're going to have to do a ton of work to reel this thing in. So luckily, I catch a wheel right here, and I didn't really understand the tactics right here of the guy in the white and black, and then the niche rider. Like, I don't know why they let that gap open up. Like, we both have representation up in the break. Like, I feel like it would have made sense for us to form a good chase group and increase our odds to go up the road. So didn't really understand those tactics. I guess I don't understand group ride tactics. So, you know, you guys put a note in the comments. Let me know how to ride a group ride. All right, I come through right here, do a short little pull. Again, I'm feeling it. My heart rate's kind of pinned right now, kind of stuck at 180, and I can't get much higher. I check over my shoulder. I know I'm gonna have a huge counter come over the top of me from this niche rider in the rear cam, and boom, perfect timing. That's exactly what happens. I just can't respond to it. I pump out 700, 600 watts right there, and just could not jump on that. It is what it is, and I've got to live with that. So now we're a few minutes later, and I'm actually in like the second small peloton. We've got like 6 or 7 riders. If you check the rear cam, there's no one left. Okay, we have completely shredded this field of 45 to 50 riders. We're down to like 20 guys now, and up the road right there you can see the first chase group of like 5 or 6 guys. So we're all trying to battle to get reabsorbed and reset the peloton while we still have 4 guys in the breakaway up the road. So this whole back half of the race was insane. The wind was playing a huge factor, and guys were doing a great job by keeping it super fast. And I'm just trying to play it smart right here, stay on a wheel, ride as smooth as I can, but I'm still having to put out a ton of watts to stay in contact with these guys. So right here, luckily, our group does enough of an effort right here to get the entire peloton reset. Even though it's a small group, now we're all reset, and I can finally take a breath and breathe a little bit. All right, so we are coming. We just hit the last lap bell right there. So coming into turn 1 right here, we're at the last lap, and it's been super strung out these last 4 laps. We've kind of kept it pretty chill. It's pretty tame. There was like 1 or 2 guys that kind of tried to do some flyers. A couple guys have stayed away, but this is really the rest of the race right here that we're in. The breakaways up the road, we're not going to catch them. So check my right, got a UNC rider setting up to do his lead out. I'm cooked. I'm just trying to survive and like just finish relatively decent on this sprint right here. So watch the guys on my right. They're about to launch their attack. In my opinion, like I would have steered to the far right to us. You can see the niche rider kind of jumps on his wheel and disrupts him. I would have given your teammates a little bit more room right there. They immediately go into the gutter. Apparently there was some, you know, bumping of elbows, stealing of wheels, all that. But everyone's up riding. Got Mike King right here on the left doing a hard sprint. Coming into the final corner right now, I am a little too far back, but I'm smoked. We got lap rider right in the middle of the corner. Fantastic, gotta love that. And boom, now we all pop off our sprint. Remember, we have a huge tailwind right here. And if you watch, like everybody is just like even keel. Like no one's really passing anybody because the tailwind is so massive. Mike King is the only one that can manage a big enough sprint to come by a couple of guys. So there you have it, guys. There's our finish from another super windy Orr Road. Finished like mid-pack or so. The field was shredded. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.